Well, my first group was really cutthroat. Like only 2 players out of 6 advanced, and I think the top 4 players in that group were all within 1 game of each other. So at the very end it was very tense, but I fell just short. I came 3rd, so I had to go through the last chance, and I got, very lucky at the end. Managed to go 3-0 in the last chance to qualify. There definitely is a degree of luck. Like in the online portion, there was one game against Hot Form where I played Spellslinger and I got a Blade Flurry. And that's the only card you can't play as Mage, along with Demon Fuse. And it cost me 2 damage, which cost me the game. And if I'd won that, I'd be 1 win up. I'd have been tied with Dog for first in the group and advanced on, but yeah, at least I got lucky. I feel much more prepared and confident for this one. I'm very happy with my decks, and yeah. Well, it's Conquest again, which is the format everyone's been preparing for over and over again recently, so I think everyone has a good grasp on what the kind of best strategies are. So I'm basically going to be using the same strategy I've been using for online tournaments in the past few weeks. Initially I thought it was in a difficult group, but then StarSeries came in to replace Amaz, and I'm just always happy to not be in StarSeries' group. I have a really poor win rate against him. So yeah, now I'm happy to be in this group. It's a very complex process. I involve my team a lot. We, like 20 days before the tournament, we had 6 people into a Skype group. We review all of the decks we expect our opponents to bring. We decide, how predictable people are. Whether it's best just to bring the strongest lineups or whether it's best to try and target a specific deck. And yeah, we go through many iterations, we practice the strategies we think will work, and yeah, we come to a conclusion after all of that. Well, I do play a lot of ranked games as well, but tournament metas tend to be different, especially when you include a ban like this tournament does. It's okay. It's only 2 people being eliminated after the first group stage. It's pretty forgiving. And I like how if you get first in your group, you immediately earn a top 4. Often there's not too big a difference between getting first, second in your group, so it's much more incentive to go all out in the group stage. I think I always want to play more offline tournaments. Like with the new BlizzCon format, people are playing a lot more online tournaments to try and get WCS points to qualify for the season finals. So whenever I can, I'm playing online tournaments almost daily, along with my usual training. It definitely is a problem with Hearthstone. I think a lot of the top players have experienced that. I had one 2-week period where I played like 5 events in 2 weeks, and by the end I just was like, yeah, my results definitely started to decline at the end. So yeah, it is a thing. It's kind of been quiet over December these past few months because of Christmas and all that, but yeah, it definitely can be an issue. I did go out this morning, and it's so unbelievably cold. Like, I can't even describe it. But yeah, it was very interesting. Usually when I go out somewhere, I can always find someone who speaks English, but here there's a huge language barrier, which made it a bit difficult ordering food and that. Okay, so starting with my group, there's Kalento. I faced him a lot recently, and he's always scary. Like, for the longest time, people consider him the best in the world, and he potentially still is. So then in my group we have Dog. I think Dog is, he's a little bit predictable in the fact he always brings Rogue, and he kind of brings Rogue with a few solid decks, but his in-game decision making is absolutely top tier, and so it's always difficult to get a win off Dog. And then of course we have the Chinese player in my group, who I don't know too well, but we've done some research on. And in the next group we have Jab. Jab is also a bit predictable. He tends to bring Tempo Mage and Hunter to a lot of events. And then we have StarSeries, probably the most unpredictable player ever, who brings crazy lineups all the time, and they somehow seem to work, so I'm glad I dodged that bullet. And then Surrender, who I think last year he had the most BlizzCon points, so he's obviously very consistent in his results. So yeah, a lot of very strong players at this event. I feel like they're almost a bit predictable when we did look at studying them, and they seem to all bring similar sets of decks. There's a lot of Zoo, a lot of Secret Paladin, a lot of Druid, over and over again, and so I think people will be very well prepared for them. Okay, so in the other group, I'm expecting Surrender and StarSeries to get out. And in my group, I think I really don't know what Kalento's going to bring. So I'm honestly not too sure of my group. I want to say myself. I'd like to say myself and Dog, but Kalento couldn't get out as well. Any of us 3.